Welcome to the City of San Antonio Department of Arts and Culture's grant application workshop for base operational and culturally specific support for qualified San Antonio nonprofit arts agencies. We'll cover a lot of ground on these two grants today, and additional details can be found in the core grant program guidelines on the department's website at getcreativesanantonio.com/grants. Once on the web page, click on the blue highlighted Core Grant Programs Guidelines. The Department of Arts and Culture core grant funding programs are supported by the hotel occupancy tax and invested to promote and engage residents, visitors, and the convention and hotel industry in the San Antonio experience through the creation, encouragement, promotion, and exhibition of the arts and culture of San Antonio. The goal of base operational support for organizations is to support extraordinary and innovative presentations that showcase artistic excellence and the multicultural diversity of San Antonio. Investments are made for 3 years and are based on a percentage of the organization's 3-year average of net operating expenses based on IRS 990s uploaded to GuideStar. Here you see the funding scale. The minimum annual operating budget for base operational support is $50,000. Smaller agencies may qualify under events grants. Agencies with annual operating budgets between $50,000 and $500,000 will be funded up to 30%. Agencies between $500,000 and $1 million will be funded up to 25% of their annual operating budget. Percentages are not guaranteed but are a maximum and may be reduced based on funding availability. Take a moment to review this funding scale to determine the level for which your agency may qualify. Agencies not currently funded by the department will be phased in at 1/4 of the funding they qualify for to ensure they can manage city funds, but at a minimum of $5,000 per year. Existing agencies will take priority unless a new organization qualifies for culturally specific funding. Agencies receiving base operational support may not apply for regranting or event funding. In addition to the grant for base operational support, arts and cultural agencies whose mission is to preserve, promote, and enhance the identity and character of specific cultural communities may qualify for up to 20% or a maximum of $150,000 in additional investment. Specific cultural communities are defined as Latino, Latina, African American, Asian American, Native American, women, and LGBTQIA+. Additionally, 51% of the agency's leadership must reflect the specific culture identified. Here we've listed the basic eligibility requirements. You must be headquartered in San Antonio, and the majority of your events must be held within the city. You must be an IRS-recognized 501c3 nonprofit and have been in business for the last 3 years. Your mission and programming must be primarily arts and culture. Your events must be open and accessible to the public, and you must be the primary presenter or producer of the work, not a fiscal sponsor. Your board must be active and meet regularly. Your annual operating budget must be between $50,000 and $15 million, and you must have a salaried full-time administrator who is responsible for the business management of the organization and is authorized to address the contractual obligations of the city contract. There are some restrictions on the use of funds. Funding cannot be used for workshops or educational programs on a school campus or provided by the school, not for state or local government institutions and departments, capital improvements, real estate purchase, benefits, or fundraisers, not cash prizes or programs that are essentially recreational, rehabilitative, or therapeutic. Funding also cannot be used for political purposes, obscene material, receptions or social activities, debt reduction, litigation, religious institutions or religious programs, or for any organizations with an annual operating budget of more than $15 million. You will use the department's online grant application system, sanantonio.govsmart.org, under a two-step process. Step 1 is the intent to apply, which will establish your basic eligibility. The deadline to submit the intent to apply is March 23, 2021. If you meet the eligibility criteria, you will be approved to proceed to Step 2, the grant application. The deadline to submit your grant application is May 4, 2021. This is the online grant application system, sanantonio.govsmart.org. Near the top right of the screen, you'll see the words Tech Tips. If you encounter a technical issue with the system after hours, you can click this link and find additional information or solution. If you've never applied for a grant in this system, you'll first have to establish a profile for your agency. Click on the blue link at the bottom left titled "Click here to create a new profile." This screen will appear. Please click on the blue button at the bottom left that you agree to the terms of use. Start at the top. You must select the button as an organization in order to access the base operational and culturally specific grant applications, as these grants are only available for organizations and not for individuals. Fill in all information. You'll see an asterisk next to each line for required information. Here you'll populate information for the primary contact for your organization. This page asks for information about your organization, such as the legal name, date of incorporation, and address. Here we need to know when your fiscal year ends, your mission statement, a brief statement about your organizational history, your DUNS number, and your web address. A link is provided if you don't remember your DUNS number. A DUNS number is required. Don't forget to click on the blue Submit button at the bottom of the page. Once your agency profile is established, click on the tab at the top of the page titled Current Programs and Applications. Look for the 2022 Base Operational Support and Culturally Specific Support. To get started, click the blue link Start Intent to Apply. This first page will provide you with a reminder of the eligibility criteria and the funding scale. Different methods are provided to respond to questions. For instance, at the top of this page, there is a drop-down box to select the City Council district of your agency headquarters. Underneath, a text box to provide contact information for your salaried administrator. And beneath that, checkboxes to select the years you filed your most recent IRS 990s. Below the text box, you'll see a total number of characters allowed. There's your character count. Notice the little blue question mark under the first question. If you click that question mark, an information box will appear with additional information. As you go, be certain to click the blue button titled Save Work so you don't lose the information you've entered in the system. When you save, you can always take a break, exit the system, and come back to it later. There are a series of questions required only of new applicants that are not currently funded by the department. Agencies currently funded by the department are not required to respond to these questions. Here, list other names that your organization is known by. Upload your articles of incorporation and your IRS determination letter. Next, upload a copy of your board bylaws, your board meeting schedule for the last 12 months, and use the text box to describe the last 3 years of artistic and cultural programming. Using the SMU Data Arts Data Analysis Platform, we require that you file a Cultural Data Profile, CDP, for your agency for 3 years, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And we require that you upload a funders report for these 3 years here. This will take some time, so do not delay in getting started. This is where you'll upload your funders report. There are several links to tutorials that are available here. Instructions, registering for online training. You can select individual tutorials on different topics. Let me give you an example. This tutorial shows you how to get registered in the system in order to file a CDP for the 3 years that we need. You can also sign up for helpful webinars. And there are tutorials that provide guidance on what materials to use in order to complete the CDP. Once you complete all 3 years of 2017, 2018, and 2019, you can submit a funders report to the City of San Antonio in the Data Arts system. The funders report will show all 3 years of your CDP data. Don't forget to save your work. Under the Save button, click on the question, did I complete this page? This will help you see if you forgot to answer any questions. You'll see a pop-up window appear listing any questions that you may have missed. Once submitted, you'll receive an email confirmation that you've completed the intent to apply. You'll receive another email whether your agency meets the eligibility criteria, and if so, you will be approved to proceed to step 2, the grant application. The deadline to submit your grant application is May 4th, 2021. You'll notice that your intent to apply will say approved. To proceed to step 2, log into sanantonio.gosmart.org, select the current programs and applications, look for the blue Start button for the application just to the right of your intent to apply. Click to get started. This is your first page in the application. In the middle, you'll see a notice regarding restrictions on communications. You cannot contact any city official or their staff regarding this application until the item is posted for City Council consideration, or you may be disqualified. Notice the sections of the application are listed at the top left. This first section is for ethics forms. Fill them out and upload to the application. For instance, click on the blue link to the contracts disclosure form. When you do, here's what the form will look like. Key in your information. In number 2A, the contract or project name would be Base Operational Support. Be sure to key in your name at the end. No need for a hard copy signature. Just save it to a file on your computer. Select the completed form you've saved in your files and click the blue Upload button. The next section is related to the agency's annual operating expenses reported on your IRS 990s. Again, we show you the funding percentage for a range of agency annual operating expenses. Fill in the operating expenses for each year of your IRS 990s and save your work. Next, we ask you to use the text box to describe your programming for the next year to include the artistic and/or cultural significance and your approach to ensure the artistic excellence of your programming. We'd like to know the locations in each city council district that you plan your events and your programming, including addresses. If you'd like to know what council district an address falls within, click the blue link at the top, Find My Council District. When you click that link, you'll be led to this page where you can key in an address and a council district will appear. We also ask for demographic information on the communities you serve. As best you can, please provide the percent of each ethnic or racial demographic group that you serve. The total amount should amount to 100%. Please upload a board roster with the name, board title, term limit, and term expiration for each board member. Do not include personal contact information for your board because it may become public information. Next, use the link to open a matrix to populate your board demographics and upload to the application. Here's the link to the matrix. The grant for culturally specific support is based on two qualifying criteria. First, the agency's mission and majority of programming is to promote, preserve, and enhance specific cultural communities. And second, the organizational leadership must reflect the specific culture that is identified. You must meet both criteria to qualify. If you leave these answers blank, we will assume you're not applying for culturally specific support and that you are only applying for base operational support. This question speaks to audience engagement. Use the text box to tell us how you engage participants in art and cultural community activities that reflect the cultural practices or heritage and traditions of the community with an outcome of a genuine experience and a demonstration of understanding of your specific community. This is the insurance coverage you'll be required to obtain in order to contract with the city for either of these grants. This coverage is not required at this time, only upon contracting with the city. This last section is assurances. You must agree to adhere to the city's non-discrimination policy. You must also agree that you will not contact the evaluation panel, any member of the San Antonio Arts Commission, or the Arts Funding Committee beginning March 30th, 2021, until the item is taken to the San Antonio Arts Commission. Additionally, you may not contact any city official or their staff until this item is posted for City Council consideration. You assure us that you provided truthful information and that you are authorized to submit an application on behalf of your organization. If you miss any required questions, the system will not let you proceed, and it will alert you to which questions were not answered before you can submit. You'll receive a notice that your application was received and is under review. Later, you'll receive an email from the department on or before June 20th, 2021, notifying you of your award status. This is the timeline for these grants. The intent to apply will be open from January 19th through March 23rd. The application will open March 30th through May 4th. Evaluations will take place May 10th through May 30th, and as stated earlier, we'll notify you of your funding status on or before June 20. Preliminary funding recommendations and appeals will be considered by the Arts Funding Committee on July 8th, and by the San Antonio Arts Commission on July 13th. Funding recommendations will be included in the city's proposed budget and in the City Council budget work sessions in August. Once the budget is adopted in September, the first contract of the 3-year funding cycle will begin October 1st, 2021. Send all questions to artsfunding@sanantonio.gov. Frequently asked questions will be posted at getcreativesanantonio.com. Thank you. We look forward to receiving your application.